Hi, my name is Troy Byer,
And I'm Daniel Emmerich.
and we are here with Complete Restoration in their warehouse.
Today we'll be interviewing Caden, who is head of the inventory department here at Complete.
We will be asking him a few questions about their inventory and how they've been able to minimize the cost of waste.
I think there's two parts to organization. There's one that has to happen in the physical building, and then one that happens outside that includes job sites. So one of the organizational tools that we use is we have a way to track all equipment and inventory, and things that are reusable, we know when they're here and we know when they're on a job, so that we cut down on time that we take looking for things that we may need. Where we may not have enough cash flow and resources to buy multiple of the same tool, the guys will know where it's at using the system that we have. So if they're in need of something, it helps them not only to not waste time looking for it, but to also make a schedule, and that way they can share the same item and be able to use it on different jobs.
Here we see equipment organized in rows. We feel that this was organized well because there is a location for each fan and piece of equipment. This eliminates the waste of motion by being able to grab the equipment right in front of you. This also helps determine if a piece of equipment is misplaced.
So one of the things that I think is most important with making sure that the guys check it in is first and foremost, I think it creates a culture between the workers. It helps them to be organized. If there's no organization when they come in the morning, they're less likely to have organization on the job site. That equates to lost time. And so as we have them come in and check the inventory out, it helps us to know how much goes to each job. It helps in budgeting. And it also helps us to know when there's extra. Before we took really detailed inventory, lots of times, lots of materials would be taken to a job, and there was no way to say, hey, I think that we took too much material to this job. Is there any way that we could bring that back and use it on another job? And now that we have a multiple check and balance system where not only do I get to see what's been used on the job, but also the employees and the estimators, we're able to take and say, I think this was too much that was used on a job, and look for ways to use less, and also to reuse materials.
By having the tools off the ground and on hooks, it eliminates the possibility of having them pile in a corner. This also eliminates the waste of motion by not having to move other tools to find the tool that you need. By having the tools staged in this way, you're able to quickly know if the tool that you need is being used. On the other hand, if they're all piled in a corner, you would waste time searching just to find that the tool that you need is being used and have to spend time finding it.
The inventory is done on a weekly basis and then compiled on a monthly basis and a yearly basis. And the reason that we do that is so that we give the guys feedback weekly on how much we're missing or what hasn't been checked out. That's helped us in $250 worth of product a week we can save by letting them know that we're missing this, and they're aware and they can think back to jobs that they may have forgot to check stuff out. But I think one of the most important things with inventory that we've implemented up to this point is it's difficult to keep a really accurate inventory. And it's difficult to motivate people because there's a slight bit of conflict of interest. So one of the things that we've done is, based upon the materials that we lose per month, we distribute a share of the profits of the company based on how much inventory we lose. So if there's less inventory lost in a month and it falls below the threshold that we've set, they get a share in the profits of each job. If the inventory that we lose in a month goes above the threshold that we've set, it is paid for out of the money they would normally get.
Here we have many miscellaneous items on multiple shelves. We feel that this is organized, but we could implement a few more things to be less scattered. We would add labels showing where items belonged. We would essentially create a grid system. This grid system would be broken down into 3 rows by 4 columns. Each section could also be color-coded, which would help determine the location of where the objects goes back when not in use, and to help eliminate losing the art of organization.